Ja, herzlich willkommen. Mein nächster Interviewpartner ist Chris von Northcliff. Das ist eine Hunter Dickinson Company. Also Sie wissen, Hunter Dickinson ist ja auch in Deutschland relativ bekannt und die sind ja dafür bekannt, dass sie sehr gute Companies haben. Chris Company ist speziell in Wolfram tätig. Wolfram ist eine der strategischen Metalle, die auch die EU als extrem wichtig angesehen hat. Und Wolfram wird ja auch in Österreich relativ gut abgebaut und da sind wir auch als einer der wenigen Länder, wo wir, glaube ich, unter den Top 3 Produzenten sind und deswegen ist mir gerade eine Freude, mit Chris mal über den Markt ein bisschen zu sprechen. Chris, thank you to have you here.
Pleasure to be here.
Maybe the first question is always the same question what I ask all companies, but what was really the highlights in the last 3 to 6 months for your company?
Sure. 2013 was a very good year for Northcliff. I'll have to go back to more than just 3 to 6 months because in the 12 months of 2013 we completed a 43101 compliant feasibility study. Towards the middle of the year, we submitted our environmental assessment report to both provincial and federal governments. And in October of 2013, we completed a non-dilutive transaction with a private group. So, 3 very solid things that we managed to complete in the year 2013.
Okay, coming up to 2014. So what's our next step to bring the project forward?
Sure. In 2014, our focus is going to be on continuing with the EA process. We're now 6 months into it. We are still seeing that an EA approval or EA decision by both provincial and federal governments still occurring later on in 2014, and we have been projecting that for about 2 years now. So we're very pleased that we don't have to change our estimation on that, so that's a positive thing. In parallel to that, we're continuing our efforts with discussions with potential joint venture strategic partners who are interested in the offtake. So those discussions have been going on for about a year now, and so they will continue through 2014. And then the third piece is continuation with our discussions with banks on the debt piece. So obviously, those are discussions that have been ongoing for quite a while now, and we're happy to see that there is appetite for debt. So 2014 will be pivotal in terms of pulling all these pieces together.
When everything running fine, what do you expect when your mine can really start to construction and bring it into production?
Sure. Based on the timeline that I just explained to you, driven off of the EA decision, we're still looking at a 2-year construction period. So if you look at EA decision sometime in late 2014, maybe we think about construction beginning towards the end of 2014. So 2 years of construction will put us into late 2016 for commissioning the plant and getting into commercial production sometime in 2017.
Is there a general ranking, or I will ask in this way, when your mine is in production, how big is the portion from the general market for tungsten?
Well, at full production from Sisson, we're projected to produce about roughly about 500,000 MTU of WO3, and from a single source, that would represent about, say, 6 to 8% of the world's production from Sisson alone.
Okay, come in general to the market. The market in the last 2-3 years was really terrible for resource stock. So what is your general view for the market and for tungsten specifically?
Yeah, tungsten, it's hard to talk about tungsten without talking about China. China is the dominant player in tungsten production and tungsten consumption. I think I just read some reports that the GDP growth of tungsten of China is at about 7.7%. So between 7.5-8% is still a good growth number. So we expect that to continue. So based on that, we expect demand for tungsten to be strong. In fact, what is happening, or what has happened over the last few years with tungsten, showing the strength that it has been showing, is playing out as what we had been thinking about in terms of the fundamentals. So those fundamentals will remain strong, I think. I think that tungsten demand will stay strong, and the prices will continue to be where they are right now. That's our feeling. So going forward, from a market perspective, I think the fundamentals are going to be there, and of course, for Northcliff, we will continue to build value for our shareholders through the only way that we can, which is to deliver on the things that we have control over.
My last question, normally is this my last question about the market, but my last question is really, it's come to the point of financing. You tell us that you can do something on debt and you're looking for offtake agreement, but when you come, which portion you think you can do from debt financing or from offtake, or you need another equity financing round, or what is your thinking, the financial model for
Yeah, it's going to be a combination of equity and debt, of course. As I mentioned to you, we have indications from lending institutions that they still have an appetite for debt, and that debt could be anywhere from, say, 50 to 60% of our capex needs. So, we're left with roughly about, let's say, 40% that we'd have to raise as equity. We have, through our transaction with Todd Minerals, a portion of that equity already accounted for, if you will, through that transaction. So, we're looking in 2014 to secure another strategic investor, and that investor could be an off-taker as well, to secure another portion of the equity, which then will make the equity part that Northcliff has to come up with quite manageable.
Okay, Chris, thank you for the interview, for the quick update, and good luck for 2014.
Thank you, Joe. Pleasure.